What's good? It's Ozman the Wizard.
And Naima.
And this is not another
damn podcast.
Hey, presented by a damn
Damn
self.
self.
What number is this, kid?
154.
Okay, yeah. I'll let you say it because the Mother's Day edition, you being a mom of two. Happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you.
And to all the wonderful moms, especially mine. Shout
Yes.
out to our mom, yeah.
Yes.
Also, shout out to another mom, the lovely Jazz, creator of Sculpt.
Happy Mother's Day, Mama.
Yeah, it covers the entire midsection and provides 100% comfort during your workouts. Much love going out to all the moms, yeah.
Yes, we're doing the damn thing. Under quarantine, you just got to get a little more creative right now because we can't go nowhere.
Oh.
So,
And shout out Stephanie Denise, her first Mother's Day, of course. Yeah.
Nice. Yep.
You know, I'm just thinking of all the moms I know. The lovely Tiffany, of course, got to shout her out.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, it seems like we're having a positive, like, you know, even though 2020 hasn't been kind to us, I guess people.
Say
yeah, we're making the best of a not so great situation right now. And that's all you can do. Like, you got to stay positive. You got to keep your spirits up. And for anybody who doesn't have their mom, you know, I send my prayers, my hugs, everything like that to you right now, because I know that this is incredibly difficult for you. Like, I mean, oftentimes we take for granted that we have our mom in our life. So
and you think she's going to be here forever.
Exactly. And it's easy to just get wrapped into that. But just everybody, I just want to just make this day be like, you know, let's love. Like, let's love some more. Love on each other more. Let's stop the hate. And love. You know, increase the peace. Yeah. Didn't Jesse say that?
I don't fucking know. It sounds like a Jesseism.
He rhymed a lot, so I think he said that.
Oh, we're still under quarantine, of course. Yeah, broadcasting separately. I like to mention that. So when we do eventually do this show together, it'll be a big deal, I guess.
Reunited, and it feels so good.
That probably will be the name of whatever the episode is.
But we got out the house. We got out.
Want to start it off with a couple of RIPs?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 or even 4. Yeah, I think it's a 4th one now.
Yeah, it was a 4th one that happened.
Yeah. I started off the legendary Andre Harrell, Uptown Records, man. Discovered Mary J. Blige, Diddy. Like, he was a Jodeci, a big part of my era. Like, when I really started getting into this music / DJing thing, they were right there. And I know him earlier from originally he was part of it was a duo called Jekyll and Hyde with Russell Simmons. In fact, if you saw Crush Groove, like, he's in it, the Jekyll and Hyde. Like,
I did see Crush Groove. Yeah.
Andre Harrell is in there, small part in Crush Groove from way back in the 80s. So that's my first that's my first Andre Harrell experience was Crush Groove. He had a small part in that, playing himself, basically.
Yeah,
but
he passed away age 50
years old, young man.
So young, yeah. It was just like a total shock. It came from out of nowhere. Like, no one was like ready for it. Like, when we saw the Instagram post, like, people saying rest in peace, we're like, wait, what?
Like, whoa.
Has this been confirmed? And that's the first thing I want to know is, has it been confirmed? Like, if somebody posts on their page, on their personal page, I'm like, is it true? And then you start seeing media outlets like TMZ. Like, usually when TMZ reports something, I usually trust their
TMZ report. Is pretty on point. They've been wrong, but when they have, they retract. Yeah, but
like when Tommy Ford hadn't passed away, they retracted it because
more times than not, they're right. Well, like with the whole Kobe Bryant, there was all kinds of like misinformation about that story that was out there, and every time they kept fixing it.
Right.
But rest in peace to the legend, man. Like, that was a total shock to me because, like you said, nobody saw that coming.
That's a big hurt for us because that's our era. That's what we grew up to. You know?
Without Andre Harrell, there would be no Puff, which means there'd be no Bad Boy, which means who knows would Big's career have been what it was? Would he have gotten the popularity without Bad Boy? Because without Andre Harrell, there would have been no Bad Boy. He'd put Puff on.
Right.
So without Uptown, you wouldn't get Bad Boy Records. So
it's all connected. Yeah.
You go down that rabbit hole. So also lost another true pioneer. I got to call him right here. The Richard Penniman, better known as Little Richard.
Little Richard. Awap Babaluga, Awap Bamboo.
Because this dude, he was making hits in the 50s.
Yes.
Never really got credit for that's why it's funny, like the Back to the Future scene with Chuck Berry really should have been a Little Richard scene because he was Richard was out like, I'm looking at his discography. His first hit was out in 1956.
Yeah, I was gonna say around that time. Yeah.
56, he had hits out. He had Long Tall Sally, Ready Teddy. He had hits out in the mid 50s. Like this dude was and now once again, without Little Richard, there would be no James Brown. Without James Brown, there'd be no Michael Jackson and Prince. It's like yes.
No Chris Brown. Like none of these people would exist without
Little Richard started it all. He was 87 years old, pioneer in this game. Yeah. Yeah. And like he was I like to joke about he was Soldier Boy before Soldier Boy.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s, he was like making all the claims about how he started rock and roll and all that because he was so flamboyant, people laughed at him, but like dude was telling the truth. Everybody ripped him off. He did.
He did at the end of Why Do Fools Fall in Love because he had the whole strip there. Because they stole from all of us. Woo! At the end of Why Do Fools Fall in Love, like he said that, and it was like I know it was done
Frankie Lyman biopic. Yeah.
It was done tongue in cheek, but what he was saying was true. They stole from him. Like the Beatles stole from him. Mm-hmm. They stole his shit.
Pat Boone made a cover of Tutti Frutti that made way more money than his version of Tutti Frutti.
Right.
The white man, he did a cover of your record and got richer.
Yeah. But that has to be infuriating. Because you see, your words, these are my words I wrote. This is my music I created.
I wrote that shit. You'd be like, yeah.
Right. I did that. And then you see somebody else just blatantly plagiarizing your work. It's very infuriating.
Which means I got to go back again and rewatch another one of my favorite biopics from that era. Of course, we all know that that Leon played David Ruffin epically, but often forgotten like around that same time he also played Little Richard.
Yeah.
Which was just as good, that biopic. It showed the Pat Boone scene and how he was just like going off about the white man stealing his work.
And I saw a recent article. I gotta look and see how true it is, but they were saying that Michael Jackson gifted.
I saw that.
Richard.
My guy posted that, but
I don't know how true that is.
It's in medium form, but like I said, I haven't had a chance to look it up. They say
I want to research that because it would make sense, though. It would make sense because they said that.
Look that up now. I don't know if the Beatles own Little Richard's whole catalog. They probably had certain songs. I got to look that up though. Yeah.
Right, so that may be true because the fact
it's a dope story if it's true. If it's true, I'll put that on there.
Because Michael did buy the Beatles catalog, so it would make sense if that is if that actually did happen. That's not an urban legend. If he did give Little Richard back his catalog from the Beatles, that would be awesome if that is a true story. I hope it is. Because a lot of people just do things in silence. Like, you don't need to get accolades every time you do something good. You can do stuff, you don't need look at what I did. Look at what I did. I gave something. No, you don't need to do all that. Just do it. You have your moment between you and the person, and you just keep it moving. You don't have to tell everybody what you did. So I think it would be awesome if that happened. But, wow, I was like, Little Richard too? I was like, no. Like, this is sad. Like, this
Lil's Tutti Frutti, that's the song. Okay, so it wasn't his catalog, but which was probably his biggest hit, so it still counts. Right. Tutti Frutti was part of that Beatles catalog. That's what I just looked it up. And Michael Jackson gave that song. So I was like, I've never heard that story till right now. So whenever I see something in meme form that I'd never heard of till after this man dies, I'm like,
I was like, I'd like to research that. I was like
dope. I said if it's dope, if true. That's what I just dope if it's true. But I just looked it up. Yeah. So he did give Richard the rights to Tutti Frutti.
That's dope.
Which he didn't even own until Michael Jackson bought that catalog. So that's pretty dope.
But Paul McCartney was the one who gave Michael Jackson the idea. You know, you can get people's catalog. And Michael said,
remember, Michael and Paul were doing a lot of shit together, like Say, and Girl Is Mine. Like a bunch of records they were doing. And so they became pretty close friends. And And like Paul was just schooling him. He's like, hey, like the real money is in publishing. Yeah, like that's what he's like. This singing and dancing shit is all right, but like publishing, that's where the real money is at. He didn't know that he was gonna buy his publishing, but yeah, that's like he schooled Mike on that. He's like, yeah, that's where the real money is at.
Oops, right. And then we also lost Roy from
Siegfried and Roy, the legendary Vegas duo with the White Tigers.
Yeah, we lost him. He died.
Coronavirus.
Yeah, he died from complications.
75, I want to say he was.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm like, that's our childhood. Like, you know, we like who didn't know about Siegfried and Roy? The Simpsons often parodied them.
They had a knockoff version of them.
Yeah, Siegfried and Roy. So I mean, we saw it.
And they also parodied them in Casino. I think they called them Jonathan and David with the White Tigers. Obviously,
you knew Roy. Roy, right?
In the Scorsese Casino, they parodied Roy in that one as well too.
Right. But I mean, this is just when you see, like we always say, when you see your legends and you know your idols like passing away, it's like it just always, like we always say, it means that we're getting older. Like when we see our childhood people going, it's like, man, like another one passed away.
And earlier this morning, as we record this on a Sunday, we lost the legendary Betty Wright.
Betty Wright,
cancer.
I'm like, this is just
to me like another one. I compare it to she was Selena Johnson before Selena Johnson.
Oh, nice.
That's what I compare. Listen to some old Betty Wright and then listen to Selena Johnson. Like you could tell that she was heavily influenced by Betty Wright. Yeah. At the same kind of vibe.
You need that good music, that good, you know, like I'm gonna talk to you woman to woman. You need those
like for the ladies, definitely,
Yeah, for the ladies, like let me put you on game right here, ladies. Like you need that. You need those singers to put you on and to call you out and let you know, like, hey, own your shit. Put your big girl panties on and own it. You know, you need that though.
Well, I just had to pay respects to those four right there.
Yeah.
Big name.
This 2020 is just like none. Like the meme I saw said, none of this was on my vision board. None of this was on my vision board at all.
No, this 2020 is a mug, man.
I had big hopes for 2020. Like I'm gonna do this and that, and to all my friends who are celebrating or who did have to celebrate milestone birthdays, I apologize that this was the milestone birthday that you had. This was not what you envisioned. I had many friends who were turning 40 this year, so it's like I know
our mom had a milestone birthday. We got to celebrate right before, like a week before this shit happened, at least. Yeah.
Right, thank God we got to take her out.
We got to take her out for a very nice dinner, and then a week
and then 10 days later, everything was shut down. 10 days later, everything was like, y'all ain't going outside. 10 days later. So we was like, yep, we got in just in time for Mama. So Mama got to enjoy her epic birthday. She got to enjoy it. Yeah.
Also, it's about to get real in this bitch right now. Rest in peace, Ahmaud Arbery. Talk about that.
That story.
This happened way back in February.
February 23rd, I think, right?
Yeah.
So if this story happened, okay, let's count. March, April, May. We just started May. So 2.5 months later, really? Really, a video comes out 2.5 months later.
And it really didn't go viral until like the Breakfast Club started talking about it. That's really big. It's like it took like the Breakfast Club to put this story out there for it really to gain.
And that's what I just say. If you do have power, if you do have a platform, whether you're an entertainer, if you're a social media influencer, whatever your platform, use it. If you can push out TikTok challenges and whatever challenges on Facebook, you can push those out. You can push out this information because this is like really we're still being hunted like dogs in 2020. And
claiming self-defense even though you were the aggressor. It's like it's Trayvon Martin all over again.
So this
he followed him and then said it was self-defense.
So this boy was only 25 years old, and I'm like, 25, that's someone's baby. That's someone's child. A 25-year-old is a child. Like you're just starting to become an adult at 25. You're somebody's baby. His birthday would have been this past Friday. And he would have been 26 this past Friday, but these racist lunatics gunned him down for no reason. It's like, you think about being a Black person in America, and this is where I ask the white people, please just be quiet. It's our time to talk. Be quiet. I will let you be quiet. Let us talk right now, because you don't have that where you have to think about when you go outside, like, how do I need to react? Like, if police come to me, I need to not look threatening. I need to make myself not be as threatening. I mean,
I got a whole routine when I get pulled over.
You especially as a Black man, because
I got a whole routine. I see the blue lights. I got a whole routine, a script, and everything in my head.
I've said this multiple times because
I rehearse. That's how serious I am about this shit. I rehearse what I'm gonna say when I get pulled over. And I gotta have a whole script and shit for what the fuck I'm gonna do and shit.
And I say this openly. I'm like, because I have Black men surrounding my life. My dad was a Black man. My brother's a Black man. My husband's a Black man. My son's a Black man. So I have Black men all throughout my life. And every one of you guys have had a story about some type of profiling prior to the age of you being legal. Every Black man, like my husband talks to me about that.
Did I tell a story about the homie Youssef when me and the homie Youssef got pulled over? I don't know if I told it here.
You did with the fruit.
Youssef, and he was like heavy Nation of Islam, like Farrakhan disciple, FOI. Like he's like deep into the Nation of Islam back then. I don't know about now, but back then he was like deep into the nation. And I was working in summer with him, like selling fruit on 79th and Stony Island with him.
Y'all know the corner if you're from Chicago.
Yeah, we were like doing our books, and at the end of the shift, you want to count everything out. Like count everything out and then pay me and all of that stuff. And then he was dropping me off afterwards. So then I don't know if it was a rolling stop or whatever, but we saw them blue lights in there. And I just knew with this cat, I'm in the car with us. We about to be on the 6 o'clock news because like we about to be famous because I know how he is. He's like super militant, and this was like the 90s too.
Jesse and Al going to be involved.
It was like 6 months before Malcolm X hit theaters too, so it was like that era. It's like when this happened.
It was heavy.
It was like it's about to get real in this bitch. That's where my mind was at. But then the cops searched the car and everything, saw the cash, and then they had 21 questions after that shit. And then he showed them the fruit box. So like you can see the paraphernalia. It's not drug paraphernalia, it's fruit paraphernalia. This is what fruit.
I'm flipping fruit, basically.
Basically, the cops let us go with a warning and shit. I let out a sigh of relief. And then we pulled off, then he went into militant mode. I was like, I'm glad he didn't do that with them cops. Yeah, thank God.
He may have done that if he was by himself, but because you were in the car, maybe that like kept him or
saved his life basically. Because I think they definitely would have shot him.
Because you were a kid, so it's like, you were a teenager, so But just being a Black person in America, trying to navigate, and a conversation that's so sad that I've had with my husband. We had the other day because we're looking to buy a home soon, and he said off the bat, like, I don't want to live on a block where we're the only Black family on the block.
I've never lived anywhere where I was only Black.
And I feel the same way. And then I was like, let's delve into that. Let's revisit that. I said, is that the reason? He said, hell yeah, that's the reason why. Because it's like, you see my husband, a Black man, he's 6'1", he's a big guy. So if he's seen somewhere, are people going to look at him as not belonging, as being a criminal?
It was a great call that you could tell it was a white dude that made to the Breakfast Club, like when they were talking about this. And of course, white guilt. And I was like, why does everything have to be about race?
Like, shut up.
It's really a class thing. And like, and Charlemagne shot back, like, because he could speak from experience. He's like, no matter how much money I got, it won't protect me from bullshit like that. Basically, is what Charlemagne.
LeBron James' home was spray painting nigger on his garage in his home in Brentwood in California. LeBron James.
Charlemagne's homeboy and his bodyguard Wax, like he's like a big 6'5", like with locks and everything, big cock diesel dude. And he was like sitting out in the car, like, and then the cops like harassed him and shit. He's like, it's my friend's house right there. And then they like were just fucking with him like the whole time and shit. Like this Charlemagne, like Charlemagne's a millionaire and shit. Yeah.
Right.
He can't have friends come over and visit him, basically.
It's just sad. Like
like no matter, like true, like the one part where the guy was true, like, yeah, it is a class thing in this country, but guess what? The race problem is bigger than the class problem. It is like of course like Cletus the slack-jawed yokel is gonna be looked on down upon like the country club. People are gonna look down on him, but then Cletus is gonna look down on the black man though. Like
exactly.
So it's a class thing and a race thing.
It is.
But the race thing trumps the class thing.
Yeah, pun intended.
Yeah, you can be rich and still be profiled. Yeah.
Exactly.
Whereas if you white, like, yeah, if you just broke in like a pickup truck eating mayonnaise sandwiches, they just profile you then. It's like, but yeah, with us, like we could be like, yeah, it's a nice car, dressed nice. Yeah, hey, where are you going?
And then that's the first thing, like, why do you have this nice car? Mm-hmm. Do you even own this car? It's like, I own this car. This is my car. Like I've seen many viral videos where this guy was a real estate agent, and then these cops were following him, and then he was like, I'm a real estate agent. I want to show this is my house. He was like, this is my house that I'm trying to sell. Mm-hmm. And they didn't believe that was his house. That they followed him. He had to actually go in, unlock the house with his key and actually show. And the cop followed him. He was like, okay. He's like, I'm going to take you on an adventure. Okay, you want to follow me? Okay. You can follow me up to the house. Come on. Because it was like one of those subdivision areas. And I guess he didn't think the black man could afford to live in the subdivision.
Well, let's take it a step further. Like in this case, it's even worse than that. These assholes weren't even cops and shit.
Right.
They're just assholes like, hey, where are you going? Like,
that you vigilantes out there. Yeah. Like, first of all, like the older guy, the senior one was, he was a retired cop or whatever, but then his son, I don't know what his dumbass son was, but
long story short, they weren't even cops. They were
it's like you guys are out there playing, vigilante.
I'm going to make a citizen's arrest. Fuck you.
You better get the fuck back. like, come on now. And then people are like, well, if he would have complied to what? You're not the
cops.
Police.
Like, I don't have to
comply.
You're not
the police. I don't have to
How about minding my own business and you say something to me, I can tell you to go fuck yourself. Like, you have no authority over me.
Or somebody is telling me to stop, like you're trying, like you can see, like I didn't watch the video because I was like, I can't watch the video. I just can't. But I saw still photos of it. They said that from the still photos, they said that they weaved where he was jogging several times to try to come in his path to stop him. So I can imagine how scared he must have been. Like, if you're just, you're a biker. You like to ride your bike. So if you're just biking and somebody is weaving into your path trying to stop you.
What is this? Yeah.
Yeah, because you bike often. Yeah. So it's like if you're biking through an area that you, air quote, shouldn't be in.
Which I've done before.
And somebody is weaving in your way, you'd be like, what the fuck? It would startle you. So imagine his fear. He's just out there running. And then these assholes in a pickup
athlete
truck.
getting his jog gone because right now with all the gyms shut down, you got to find ways to work out. Like, so you thought jogging was a safe way, but apparently when you black, it's not.
Yeah. So let's go over real quick. What can't we do? We can't buy Skittles and Arizona tea and wear a hoodie. We can't sell loose CDs. We can't sell loose cigarettes. Mm-hmm. We can't be playing video games with our nephew laughing in our house. We can't be sitting on the couch eating ice cream in our house. We can't jog. Like, what else can't we do as black people? Mm-hmm. What else can't we do? Did I miss something? Mm-hmm. We can't breathe. Eric Garner, I can't breathe. Like, what else can't we do? Like, I'm just asking, what can't we do?
We can't own a licensed firearm. Philando Castile. Mm-hmm. We can't have a regular traffic stop. Sandra Bland. Mm-hmm. What can't we do? Can't smoke a cigarette in your own car during a traffic stop. That's what that is. The cop told her to put the cigarette out. She's like, I'm in my car. I don't have to put it out.
If you're threatened by a cigarette, then you need a new line of work.
He just told her, I'm in my car. Smell. I don't have to put it out.
If somebody with a cigarette, if you're threatened by a cigarette, then you need a new line of work. You don't need to be a cop because you can face a lot worse than a cigarette. Mm-hmm. Come on now. That's not even a weapon. A cigarette's not even a real. That's not.
I'm smoking in my car. Like, I'm not hurting anybody. She's like, yeah, shit, fuck out of here with that.
It's goofy. But they.
I'm the fucking hashtags. I'm glad those guys did get charged, but I'm sick of why do we keep these hashtags that just driving me nuts? Yeah,
they are.
My hashtag right now, I want to put a hashtag stop killing us. That's the only hashtag I'm posting from now on. It's like y'all are fucking getting on my like. Why do we have to keep hashtagging every time?
My hashtag right now is
stop killing us. Is mine.
I just want my kids to grow up. That's my hashtag. Being a parent, I want
matter of fact, I'm gonna call the podcast that stop killing us. Hashtag stop.
Yeah, I want my kids to grow up. That's mine. Because it's like having young children, it's like, and I'm saying this in a real way, in a real honest way, is that I believe that my son maybe has 5 more years, 5, maybe 6 years left before he's considered threatening. Mm-hmm. My son's only 2. So by the time he's like 8, he's going to be seen as a man. By the time my son is 8, he's going to be seen
straight from Boys in the Hood. Well,
right.
Hey, little man.
He's
and then,
cute
like,
now.
You think you tough, like 7 years later.
But my son is going to eventually, you're not going to think that he's cute. Eventually, if he grows to be the size of his father, I mean, that terrifies me as a mother. It does. And like, what can you do to protect your child? Like, if you teach your child every kind of way, like, okay, when you're out, you don't put your hands in your pocket. You don't do this. You try to teach them everything.
Once again, they were just driving my nail business, Trey. Right. They weren't fucking with anybody. They were just driving when those cops pulled them over.
It's just, this is a real problem that needs to be addressed. Like, when you see a black person running is not stealing. We like to exercise too. We can't care about our health.
Yeah.
You don't watch the Olympics. Like, don't we kill the Olympics?
You start out Usain Bolt and shit.
Michael Johnson.
Guess they're 90s. Criminals too. Carl Lewis back in the 80s.
Right. Don't we kill
they're criminals too and shit, huh?
Right. Black people know.
Notice all of the fastest runners, all of them are black. Notice.
Exactly.
I name one. Look at your marathons in every city. It's always an African that wins. Everyone.
It's always somebody.
Marathon, New York Marathon, Chicago, where an African comes in first place on all of those.
It's always somebody melanated. That's all I'm going to say about that. It's always somebody melanated.
Yeah. So most of the runners be white, and those, but guess who comes in first place? An African in every one of those marathons.
Exactly.
We're the ones that run. So missing with that bullshit.
So it's like, so we can't even run now and care about our health and stuff, but we have to be on something. And then here's where the bullshit happens. So then they say that, it's been reported burglaries, but then somebody did a backtrack. They said that the last burglary was reported January 1st of that year, January 1st, 2020.
So almost 2 months before
no burglaries have been reported.
Almost 2 months.
So your story is bullshit, saying that, it's been a string of break-ins.
Once again, like I said, the similarity between this and Trayvon Martin, that's what happened. Another guy who wasn't a cop, who said it had been some burglaries, who followed somebody like he shouldn't have followed, and then claimed self-defense when he shot him. So the similarities are eerie in those two cases.
Right, and that's why I'm hoping it doesn't
the outcome is different this time, because I was like almost 10 years ago. Hopefully the outcome is different this time.
And then the fact that they hid that, and then the meme that I like that says is that they it's not about that they saw the tape, it's about that we saw the tape. Mm-hmm. That's the only reason why an arrest happened, because we saw the tape. And now that we saw the tape,
I wonder how it got out there. That's crazy.
It's some bullshit.
One of them had to leak that tape.
For the story that I'm seeing, the guy who recorded, they said that he leaked the tape because he was trying to get his friends off. He was trying to make it be like trying to exonerate them. In what mind
actually brought awareness to the story?
In what mind do you think that would exonerate them? You should have
destroyed the tape if you were like trying to like hide evidence. Like, yeah.
But in what mindset would you think that would exonerate somebody? That shows a murder. Mm-hmm. You chase someone down. You get out with a shotgun. I'm definitely not going anywhere. If somebody's running, they have a shotgun on me, I'm getting the hell out of Dodge.
Yeah,
I'm definitely not going with you.
With a gun. And I don't
I'm go with somebody who has a shot. Yeah, let me see you do that, white people. You guys go do that. Let some black kids with a shotgun come up to you and say, "Hey, sit down." Are you going to sit down? What are you going to do? I'm asking you. What would you do? What would you do? Let's be real with that. Would you comply and say, "Okay, well, it is your citizens' right. It is your right as an American. So I'm going to get down and just let you do your
sit here and let you have control over me and
let you arrest me."
Or that's why I didn't even say arrest. And let you have control over me.
Let you have control of me. Y'all can't even stay in the damn house for 8 weeks. Y'all complaining about being like, you guys are infringing on my rights. So you ain't going to let somebody just say it. You can sit down. Come on. Y'all crying because you can't get your hair cut. And you can't get your nails done, your massages. And y'all are out there protesting, crying about that. So you know that you would not let somebody come up to you and say, to control you until the police come. That's an outright lie. I can't even. That's an outright lie.
I smell bullshit.
That's an outlier right there, all the way. But they did get charged. So like when I did see they got charged, their names are Michael and Travis. Right, McMichaels, right, something like that. I think that's their names. Gregory and Travis McMichaels. Those are the assholes' names. And I did write that on my page. I was like, okay, step one is a charge. This is step one. I said, I'm not celebrating. I said, I want to see a real conviction and I want to see a real sentence. That's the key. Like, even if you do get a conviction, I don't want a 5-year sentence. I want a real sentencing. I want something that impacts your life where you're going to be locked away. You need at least 15 to 20, at least. You don't need less than that. You need at least 15 to 20, at least. I would not be happy if they got less than that.
And since we're talking about blacks and you want to talk about Joe Biden's black agenda that he finally put out. Yikes. And I put that in air quotes, black agenda.
What's on Uncle Joe's list? What's his black agenda?
Let me see what on JoeBiden.com from his website. Let me look. First of all, I don't even like the name of it. It sounds pandering to me. It's called the Lift Every Voice Biden Plan for Black America. Might as well call it the Tap Dance Kid. Come on. Tap dancing for Negroes is what you should have called.
I wish this was a video podcast. I wish that they
I'm recording this video. Maybe I'll use it.
You should see my face. I'm like,
when I saw that, so you already lost me, like with the Lift Every Voice plan, you called it. Come on.
Lift. Why not call it Red Kool-Aid and Fried Chicken? You might as well go all the way with it. If you're going to do that, go all the way with it.
The Chicken and Waffles Black Agenda.
Chicken and Waffles, yeah. Let's call it Chicken and Waffles with hot sauce in your bag. Get your hot sauce from your girl Hillary. She got hot sauce in her bag.
Borrow hot sauce.
Shit, we going to do that. Go all the way with it. Y'all done made me mad with that now.
Yeah, and it just seems too vague for me. It's like, I don't...
What does Lift Every Voice entail?
Let me. I can't even talk. He got me so fired up. Advance the economic mobility of African Americans and close the racial wealth and income gap. Okay. Expand access to high quality education and tackle racial inequality in our educational system. I want details. Make far-reaching investments in ending the health disparities by race. Strengthen America's commitment to justice. Strengthen America's commitment to justice. I can't talk it. Make the right to vote and the right to equal protection real for every African American. Address environmental justice. That's what it says right there. What else do we got? But it's a lot of general shit. It's like, yeah, well, to me, it's like
it's a whole lot of nothing.
Like when you say education, like what exactly do you mean?
It's a whole lot of nothing.
So education is not just your college degree.
Right.
The education, like here's like actual plans right here. If you say like reparations are never going to happen, let's just hypothetically say, okay, every black person is going to get $100,000. The education is like teaching them, okay, I'm going to teach you how to build that 100,000 to 1 million. That's the education I'm talking about. You can't just hand a bunch of disenfranchised people money without telling them how to grow it.
Or get funding to these lower school districts. Get the funding because a lot of these schools don't even have
in the hood.
They don't have materials in these schools. They don't have it. They don't have access to the internet. It's a population of kids that blew my mind when CPS went on remote learning. They was like, it's a lot of kids who don't have access to the internet, who don't have devices. And that blew my mind I was like, who doesn't have access to a device nowadays? It blew my mind. But it's a large population of children who don't have a smartphone and an iPad, a computer, whatever. But that's just really, really just vague with the whole.
You just put this out here because like the pressure was on. Okay, like what do you?
I need to say something. I need to do something.
What are you doing?
I need to make a move. Let's make a move. Another thing.
I ain't feeling it, Joe.
I'm with
Lift Every Voice. You lost me with that.
I'm with the whole wealth building. Like that's what we need to teach is wealth building seminars. With
like real estate and investing and like that kind of stuff we need to teach.
Like let's instead of having currency exchanges, let's have a hedge fund in our neighborhood. Let's have things like that where we can learn how to grow our money. Like you said, you turn $200 into $2,000. Like, let's learn how to do that.
Oh, and the black banks we need. Yeah.
Let's definitely have banks, black banks. Let's allow people, like you said, real estate, because real estate is a great way to make money. If you own certain properties and stuff, and then you own these properties, and then you can have people rent out these properties, and then that's residual income for you.
Yep.
Let's learn about creating these streams of these multiple streams of income. This is what needs to be taught.
Learn about the stock market. Learn about your investing opportunities.
Learn about an IRA, a 401k.
Roth IRAs. Learn about that kind of stuff. Yeah.
How many people don't even know what that is? Like, what that even
that's
means?
like foreign. What we just said. What we just said is foreign to that.
401k. What's that? People don't even know what that is.
IRAs. Like, how many people even know what that is?
Yeah, people don't even know. So we're gonna get our financial one together. We gotta get an expert on this.
Do that.
We're gonna get an expert on this.
I got my people I gotta get on too.
Yeah, we got a few experts.
My guy David, my girl Tracy. I got a couple of people we gonna we gotta sit down and chop it up with.
My cousin Kimmy. Yeah, Kimmy.
Yeah, we got a few people. Yeah,
and we got some people that know they stuff. But know what they're talking about, that can educate, about this. And this is what we need to learn. If anything, like I said, if anything that this pandemic should bring out is the reason why you can't live check to check. You can't spend everything that you earn in a month. You can't spend every single dollar and not have anything tucked away. You can't live like that.
This black agenda, I'm still tripping. It's more of the same to me. Like, which every time with black people, they get the same shit. Is like the whole rising tide lifts all boats speech is like blah blah blah. Nah, black people got a hole in their boat. And like, here's the thing: if the boat you're lifting is a slave ship, I don't want that lifted.
Exactly. Or if the boat has holes in it, I don't want it. The boat has holes in it.
The rising tide lifts all.
Right.
It's like, no, like blacks need need a special agenda. Just can't just say, well, we make it better for all Americans, then blacks will benefit.
No.
We need we need to hear something that's for us and just specific.
As we see, that's but you might as well say trickle down economics.
It's like trickle down.
It doesn't work. Trickle down economics does not work.
In theory, it works, but in reality, nope.
If you give the boss who owns this multi-million-dollar thing, if you give him,
they get the most of the tax breaks at the top.
You give him a tax break of $100 million off of his taxes. Is he going to use that $100 million and create more jobs or give the people existing raises? Of course not. What is you, ignorant? Is he really going to do that? Come on.
Daddy Rich said it's just going right back into his pocket.
Right.
Good place for that money, right there in his pocket.
Like, oh yeah, now my daughter can get her yacht. That's what's going to happen. My wife can get that necklace that she's been eyeing.
It's gonna be like that scene in The Simpsons when Homer's invention, like the Edison air, they came up. It's gonna be like them, like the dramatization of them, like with like, smelling money. That's what it's gonna be like.
His wealthy heirs his already wealthy heirs wealthier, and they're smelling the money.
That's what it's gonna be like. When you get that tax break, like those wealthy heirs.
Let's be real with it. People want to. It's just a sad day. But since we are talking Joe Biden, we can stay.
Tara Reid.
No, I'm gonna go a little bit over somebody that he was trying to get in, but she said no. Michelle Obama. Okay. I did watch her documentary on Netflix.
I gotta watch the Netflix. I haven't watched it yet.
It was so good, and being like Michelle, a little black girl from the South Side of Chicago, it made me just. It makes you just feel a type of way because it's like she's one of ours. She grew up not too far from the area I live in.
She went to Bryn Mawr Elementary on
right.
Dixon.
She went to Whitney Young High School where our brother went to. Fees graduated from, so she's a Dolphin. She went to Princeton, Harvard. So I mean, you see all these levels of how she grew, and just seeing that and seeing it all started from a little black girl from the South Side.
Grew up on 74th and Euclid.
Yeah, you see her grow into that. And they did go to that house on Euclid at one point in the documentary. So that was cool, like seeing them.
That was her and Barack's first house there when they first got married. Like they lived there.
They lived there for 1 year. And it was just nice just hearing her story and just her talking about, just her experience and just the negativity that this woman had to face. Like, she should have been celebrated being the first Black lady of the United States and being highly educated, being all of that. But the fact that she didn't fit the mold of what America thought that they needed, the way they just came after her, calling her, an angry Black, like from the beginning, she's an angry Black woman. She's an angry Black woman. No, she's not an angry Black woman. Just the stuff that she had to face, and how she had to, like the video when she talked about when she had to start becoming rehearsed, because when she was speaking,
she started becoming Michelle.
Yeah, because when she said the thing about, I'm proud to be an American. Oh, she's un-American. No, that's not what she was saying. Come on. My experience in America is not like yours. Sorry, white people. My experience is not like yours. It's just never going to be Black.
It like makes you feel proud. It's like this house that was once built by slaves is now resided with a first Black family. Like, she was just proud of that kind of. It's like, look at where we at now. Yeah, whoever thought when slaves were like building this house, like there'd be like a Black family.
There'd be a Black person in here.
Yeah,
in like 200 plus years.
That's what she was saying. Like, yeah,
right. That's what the meaning is behind that. When you see where you came from and where you end up, it's a wow. Look at that. It's that experience.
Like,
so
who would have ever expected that? Like, what she was.
But it was really good, and I highly recommend it. Like I said, being from Chicago, you going to feel you. Oh, that with Maya Bear, when she was in Chicago, she should have stopped at Harold's and got a 6-piece fried with mild sauce.
She didn't want to do it.
She should have got a 6-piece fried hard with mild sauce. That's the only thing.
All right. Well, we can skip Tara Reid's ass. Like, I don't know. You want to talk about? You saw what she said. Joe basically sexually harassed her back in the day when she was an intern. So these stories are like, I'm not saying it didn't happen, but these stories will always come out right around this time, like
right around presidential.
Yeah.
Which is why for Barack Obama to not have any
no scandals.
Any scandals in 8 years?
Remember the Trump whole pussy grabbing story came out right when he was running?
Right.
It's always right around this time. Like Clinton's bullshit came out right when he was running the first with Paula Jones, I think was the girl. Like that story came. Then when he was running for his second term, I think it was Lewinsky happened to want to say, yeah.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
That's why I said with Barack is so like phenomenal that 8 years, no scandals.
He really is a Black unicorn. He really is. Like, not being funny. No scandals.
He really is proving that Black men don't cheat. Yeah. The one Black president and no scandals because Black men don't cheat. See, it's facts. It's not just talk. Barack proved. The white presidents cheated. The Black one didn't. Just saying. It's not just a song, it's a movement.
Hilarious.
Speaking of hilarious and wild, it's all at the same time. Unless you had anything else, I'm ready to have some Facebook fun.
Oh, just my high energy. The verses of Erykah Badu and
I totally forgot. Like I said, it was a lot this weekend, rapid fire. I totally forgot about the verses battle. Yeah.
I needed that because earlier in the day I had a meeting that went far left and it gave me a really bad headache. And then when I logged in, was listening to shout out to Mike Love first because Mike Love did a Mother's Day mix on Saturday to get us in the mood. So shout out, thank you, Mike Love. That helped me get into the mood. And then once I came into Badu and Scott, I was just
DJ Envy on Friday. He did a Badu Jill Scott mix as well too on the Breakfast Club. So he
Yeah, Mike did Mother's Day. He did like a jam, like all your mother's favorite jams from back in the day. He did one of those mixes, and it was cool. And then, like I said, about
I know you're a Jill Scott fan, but I think Erykah won that battle. I think Erykah won.
I don't know. It's too close to call for me.
I'm just giving my opinion. Erykah won.
It was too close to call for me because at the end when Jill poured out the Cross My Mind.
Jill Scott pulling the hits later, but I think Erykah. Overall, I think Erykah's body of work was stronger to me.
I think Jill was going easy. I think she honestly was going easy because she was pulling a lot of her B-sides. Like I said, but I'm a Jill Scott fan, so I know her B-sides. I know her album cuts.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was singing the words and Mark, I was like, you know this? Marcus was like, no. I was like, okay, you don't know this. I know all of Jill Scott's earlier,
And I think that was the highest viewed verses since they've been doing this, I want to say.
Yeah, it was like almost 800,000 people at one point. Over
like they
700.
outdid Babyface and Teddy was the previous highest one. That was 500,000.
Yeah, it was like 760,000 people were on.
And
Michelle Obama was in there.
RZA and Primo did like 400, I want to say. So like, yeah, it's like it keeps going up each time.
Ladies. It was the first lady one too. Ladies, we did that for Mother's Day, and they both are moms, so we did that.
What's the name? I think Nelly and Luda are up next. Like, I'm looking forward to that. I'm ready for after getting collected. I'm ready for some ratchetness.
Ratchetness.
Ready for Tip Drill versus Chicken and Beer. I'm ready for some ratchet. I'm ready to hear who Tip Drill versus who let these holes in his room.
Who let these holes in my room?
Yeah, I'm ready for a little ratchetness. You got to balance it out. Have a little ratchetness.
But
first, have some righteousness and then have some ratchetness.
But you have to admit your aura did shift with Jill Scott and Erykah Badu. It did shift.
Now we're gonna get ratchet with Ludacris and Nelly.
Smell like incense and shea butter. That's what it would smell like to me.
Now Chicken and Beer is gonna smell like.
Well, marijuana smoke was on both, I'm sure.
Everybody.
There's a difference between
pretty much legal now.
There's a difference between eclectic weed and
hood weed.
There's a difference between the two, though. It's a difference.
So would that be considered an unpopular opinion? I just said that Erykah washed Jill. I guess that's unpopular, right?
Yeah, wash Jill.
I'm just joking about the wash part. I just want to fire you up with that shit.
Right.
That was me trying to fire you up with that.
Even Erykah was like, I wish I wrote Long Walk. She said, that's a song. When I heard those lyrics, she was like, I wish I wrote that. She's like, when you wrote Long Walk, I wish that I wrote that. It was a good
battle. I just think Erykah won it, though. Yeah, I wanted to fire you up when I say Erykah won. She didn't watch.
Yeah. I love both of them. I say both ladies need to do full covers of each other's work. That's an order that I'm requesting.
If Badu would murder Crown Royal on Ice, that would be amazing.
Because even like that tease when Erykah was when Jill was singing, Tyrone went on, the video went out on Erykah, and then Jill starts, I'm getting tired of your shit. Jill started singing. I was like, oh shit, come on, Jill, sing that Tyrone, come on now. Like, you get me excited now. I got super excited for that. Yeah, Crown Royal would sound nice if Erykah sang Crown. That would be.
I could hear it in my head right now. I'm like, she would kill.
That's that. What I threw my phone almost as soon as I heard it come on. I was like, Crown Royal! Ah! And Marcus was like, what is this? I was like, you don't know Crown Royal? He's like, what is this?
Oh, he don't know shit, man. He's gonna know all that Nelly and Ludacris, I bet.
Of course.
He's gonna know all of that.
Of course. Stand up. Stand up.
Make love to me. Oh.
Yeah, Louis gonna win.
Yeah. Nelly had hits. I think Luda might watch him. I think Luda might watch him, but Nelly had hits.
Oh, them both. He gonna watch him. I love Luda, especially because a lot of Luda stuff was out when I was in college, so it's like I really got into Luda listening. My college days, fond memories.
Ready to have what I thought was supposed to be some Facebook fun, but people in their feelings, it wasn't as fun as I thought it was gonna be. Y'all are making me second guess myself on this Facebook shit.
No,
I'm definitely not gonna stop it. You know me, I love controversy creates cash. Like, so that's
controversy.
Exactly, yeah. I love the controversy. This is like in the wrestling world, we would call this my heel turn, I guess. Yeah. I just turned heel. That's when it becomes a bad guy for all my wrestling fans. It's fired.
Hulk joined the other side.
Joins the NWO. This is my heel turn. Most of the time, I'm pretty chill on my posts. Like, this was my heel turn right here.
Yeah.
Hey, with this one, post your unpopular opinions here. I said, I'll start. Aaliyah was an average singer who was only considered a legend because tragically she died in that plane crash. Ooh, I got 250 responses so far at present time. It's probably gonna be more than that by the time y'all hear this, but it's already 250.
And they came
a couple hours ago.
They came for us.
First post, like the first guy, like Please devote your energy toward God's work and uplift people. I had a hotep. My very first one was a hotep.
My thing is it's Facebook.
That's what I posted. It's my page. I can post what I want.
Facebook, right.
Mm-hmm. And then he
That's
said,
an opinion you didn't say.
That was never up for debate. And so I cut a promo on him and say, here's my unpopular opinion about you. Instead of judging my page, take your own advice and do some God's work yourself. You ain't God, so stop trying to judge me. So I went in on him. It's all within the first 5 minutes.
Only God can judge me. Because I didn't know what was going on. You text me, you was like, man, this is off the chain. You just text me the laughing emoji, the sideways laughing emoji. I was like, what is going on? And then I log into Facebook. I was like, oh. Mm-hmm. Hilarious how they was just going in. And of course I knew
that he came back at me on this. I'm pretty sure her mother appreciates this topic today. I didn't want to respond there, but I respond. I'm pretty sure Aaliyah's mother doesn't give a shit what I'm saying on Facebook.
Right.
You don't even know I'm saying. If she did, she wouldn't give a shit.
Right.
So what's your point in posting that?
Right. And you just said that your opinion.
That guy is talking about Aaliyah. She don't give a shit about me.
Right. Like, who are you? Like, who the fuck is this? Like,
I don't give a fuck about what I'm talking about.
I forgot which celebrity said this. They're like, if you don't have somebody's number in your phone, then you're not on their level to even care about. Like, Facts. If you don't have my number where you can call me.
Facts.
Then whatever I say should not affect you that much.
Since I don't have that guy's number, I probably shouldn't be talking about him. So let me move on. I'm not going to say his name, but his post. I'm not blocking him or deleting his post. You can read them. They're right.
He came at you, so you're entitled to respond. He came at you.
Yeah.
And then of course I knew the Beyonce. I knew the people about Beyonce was going to come. Because whenever you have an unpopular opinion, it's always going to be some Beyonce stuff.
That's the thing. Like with people are missing the point of this. It's called unpopular opinions. If
Correct.
Everybody starts agreeing with you, is it really that? That's like saying Trump sucks. It's like that's not an unpopular.
That's not an unpopular opinion.
A lot of people don't like Trump. It's like But if you say Barack sucks, that's an unpopular opinion.
An unpopular
that's the point
opinion.
I'm making. It's like when you say you don't like Beyonce, I'm like, I know a lot of people that don't like Beyonce. Like, give me something better. Like you're not even trying to. That's like that's the low hanging fruit right there. Climb to the top. Yeah, come on. Yeah. Y'all not even trying to go with an unpopular opinion. It's like
my first one I posted.
Like, a lot of people don't like Beyonce. It's not that.
I posted this. I said Family Matters was more woke than the Cosby Show.
See, that's the kind of shit I'm talking about.
And I said, let me explain, because for people who say, I'm like, Cosby Show was a much better show.
I'm not even saying Family Matters is a better show, but they touched on issues.
But they touched on stuff that Cosby Show never did, because my thinking is, and you commented a good one on this, you said that if Theo was living in Brooklyn with these upper middle class black family, he would have been stopped by the police.
Profiled as something, especially in Bloomberg, New York, stop and frisk. It's like, come on. I don't know if Bloomberg was. I don't know if he was mayor back then, but I'm sure stop and frisk was out back then in the 80s.
Theo would have been stopped and frisked.
Theo would have been stopped and frisked at some point.
Bud would have talked about my brother. My brother got pulled over. Bud would have mentioned something about his brother. Somebody would have mentioned something about stopping and frisk.
Sandra went to Princeton. It would have been some racism about the blacks at Princeton and that. Sandra and Elvin would have definitely got some racial backlash.
Right.
They went to Princeton.
Primarily white institution, PWI. They would have had
some kind of racial issues the two of them had while they were.
Michelle Obama candidly talked about that in her book about Princeton, about her white roommate not wanting to be, her mother not feeling safe because when she saw Michelle.
See, Michelle got profiled, but Sandra and Elvin didn't get profiled.
All I'm saying, I went to U of I. My white roommate moved out 3 weeks after we lived together. Because she said that, a room opened up in the six pack and she wanted to move with her friends, but when I saw her class picture that she had on her wall, I maybe saw one or two. I have a class of 300. I maybe saw one or two faces, but they look like they may have been biracial black. They didn't look like they were all the way black like me. They look like they may have been biracial.
Did a guy call your room looking for her and said, "Put her on the phone, black bitch"? Did that ever happen?
Well, you know where we're down. Somebody called me a black bitch.
I'd have been Ice Cube.
Feast was already still there. Feast was graduating that year, so I would have called.
Fuck that.
Feast.
That's what I was called. You got to call out the heavy machinery for that. Feast would have been Busta Rhymes. I'd have been Ice Cube. Hilarious. Want to read through some of these ones, or did you have any?
But real quick. Yeah, I was saying that I was like, for Cliff and Claire to have been a lawyer and a doctor, I would have wanted that to be explored at some point, that they would have been judged as like the help or something like that. If they went somewhere,
especially Claire, like a black woman, they definitely would have shitted on her. They just said, "Oh, you made partner," like it was just nothing. Like they would have, that law firm would have shitted all over her when she tried to become a partner. Come on, as a black woman,
I want to see like if she was sitting, if somebody was talking to her when they came into her office, they thought that she was a secretary. She's like, "No, I'm a partner."
Yeah, like that.
Right. That's what I wanted to see. That explore it more so because
they did that on other shows. Like I said, they did that on Family Matters. Fresh Prince did that. Other sitcoms like touched on that kind of stuff all the time. And even their sister show, A Different World. Like Whitney got profiled when she tried to buy her father a Father's Day gift or a birthday gift, whatever it was.
Birthday gift,
I think it was a birthday present. She was going to the jewelry store and that white lady harassed her.
Right. She profiled her.
Yeah, profiled her, even though Whitley's like her father was a judge. She came for money and shit. Yeah.
Definitely.
So she's like, I could afford anything in this store. Like, and Freddie knew, but Whitley didn't get it. She was like, went over her head, like her being like,
I was just dressed poor. Because, like, Whitley was trying to make it be a class thing.
Yeah, Freddie was like, nah.
Freddie was like, no, it's a race thing. Mm-hmm. But they never touched on stuff like that. You know they would have been profiled at some point. Mm-hmm. Even Melanie Hobson, George Lucas's wife, talked about how people tried to make her be the help when she would go to, like, these events and stuff, and they see this black woman come. They don't know, like, you're the head of this. You're the speaker. You're the one people are coming to see. But they did it, you're the help. That would have happened at some point. That's what I wish that they would have focused on the Cosby Show, but they didn't. Still a great show.
It didn't have to be the whole show, but they could have touched on that stuff, though.
Right. They could have done an episode here or there, here or there. But the closest they came is when Claire did that little show with the guys when they wanted her to be on the show.
And once again, that was some more rising tide lifts all boat shit. And that was more about her being a woman, not being a black woman.
Yeah.
That was more about her being a woman.
Yeah, that's when she did that show with those commentary, whatever, that early Sunday morning show, whatever. Yeah. You know which episode I'm talking about. They could have
shit on her and say, yeah, what's that black bitch doing here? Like, that's what would have happened. That's what would have happened for real.
Wanted to see. That's what we wanted to see, right. But another one I said, a popular opinion for me, I said, Cable Guy was funny and was highly entertaining. I know a lot of people who hate Cable Guy. I enjoy Cable Guy.
I think it's
Come after me.
I agree with you on that one.
It was hilarious. Cable Guy was funny to me. I
posted some good ones as well, too, other than my Leah comment, which I'm going to read some of my Leah responses here. One of mine as well, too, that I posted said, yeah, Jordan is the GOAT to me because that's my era, but I could see how somebody who's not from that era will say LeBron's the GOAT. I got some agreements on that one. Yeah,
I agree because if you never saw Jordan play, you was born in 98. Jordan retired in 98. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean,
by the time you started watching basketball, it was like 04-ish when LeBron was like coming into his own. So like that's your guy, yeah.
Right.
I see that. Mm-hmm.
Like your debate would be LeBron versus Kobe. That would have been your debate if you came up during that era. Mm-hmm. Not Jordan.
Just talking about sports, another one I posted and baseball sucks. I post.
Agreed. Especially on TV. It's so boring. Ugh. It is so boring on TV. It's a little bit better live because, like,
baseball something that's only good live. Like watching it on TV is trash, man.
Oh my! I would hate that. Like when Marcus puts on the game, I'm like, ugh. Like I'm glad we got 3 TVs.
I watched baseball for years. I'm glad I stopped because like when I tried to go back and watch like was when the Cubs were going for the World Series. At West, first time I watched baseball in over a decade. And I was like, why did I used to like this shit? This shit is trash. Like, watching that game. And it was game 7. It was a good game, but I still didn't give a shit. I'm like, this shit is trash, man. Why did I like baseball back in the day?
I got into that series. I said because of Marcus, I got into that series for him. That's why I got into the Cubs series.
My guy Ike, his unpopular opinion, you said Everybody Hates Chris isn't a good show. He said that he's a fan of Chris Rock, but
I have to disagree. I have to disagree because some stuff Chris Rock does is hit or miss. I do agree with that. Like Hootie saying
most of his movies are like miss.
I didn't like Hootie say. I didn't like Down to Earth. I didn't like Head of State was okay. Yeah, that was the one. Security, that was okay. Mm-hmm. I think I Love My Wife was pretty good. It was pretty funny. CB4 was good. CB4 was actually good.
CB4 was his best movie. Let's call it what it is.
CB4 was actually good. But some of this other stuff, though. Security. What's some more unpopular opinions?
I'm coming back to our cousin Melanie. She had her whole Aaliyah dissertation. She put, I gotta call out Melanie. She I may have to disown you. I was a fan of her while she was alive. Like her talent with buying vocals, she was a whole vibe. I was like, yeah, that vibe was mostly created by Timbaland and Missy. I came back. She said, no, I'm not talking about her music. I meant her. Like, I'm like, I don't even know what you mean now. Like what? Like what was the vibe? She wore her hair over one fucking eye. Like what? What are you talking about, Melanie? Like I don't get the vibe. It's like yeah. I don't know. It's like that's what because the vibe I'm thinking about is like her sound and all of that. Like so I don't even know what you're talking about. I mean, her as a person, I didn't know Aaliyah. I didn't know Aaliyah Hart in person, so I don't know what kind of person she was. So I can't speak on that kind of person she was. Never met her. Saw her in concert once.
Yeah, but the thing about that people have to remember. Guess
what? The concert I saw, like she was the weakest one at that show. Ooh, stepping on toes. Yeah, you were at that show.
Yeah, I was at that show with you.
Who was the worst one there? Aaliyah.
Yeah, how that lineup it was because like the crowd kind of was like,
Kid Capri saved her.
Because her second album had just came out. Her second album, it wasn't really charting like that.
It's before it really blew up because her second album ended up becoming her best album. But at that time, people didn't really know.
If Your Girl Only Knew was like the only single that had been released. Like when One in a Million got released.
One in a Million made it a classic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But If Your Girl Only Knew, people was just kind of like, it's all right. People were kind of like that about it.
Oh, and fuck Barry Hankerson. Put the fucking music out, asshole. Still holding her music hostage and shit.
I think it's on Tidal, finally.
We can't even debate whether her music is dope because we can't listen to it.
I think it is finally on Tidal. They finally put it on Tidal, I think, if you do have Tidal.
Fuck Barry Hankerson. Shit. Holding that music hostage all these time for decades and shit.
Well.
So that's a whole nother. That's enough, Melanie. Talk to her. Oh, Lanisha, yeah, I gotta go in on Lanisha a little bit.
AKA Peaches.
Yeah, shout out Peaches, my homegirl. But let me see. I'm trying to find out the response I had to her because she put a good one. Mm-hmm. She said, I can't find the response. It was a funny one that Peaches had.
I think the thing that people like, here's the thing about being a singer. You necessarily don't have to be the greatest singer, but if you have a unique sound and you have style and stuff, you can be a star.
And I never said Aaliyah was trash. I just saw
you just have to have something that makes you stand out. You have to have something that makes you stand out. Like Rihanna isn't the best singer, but her voice is unique and you know her when you hear her. Mm-hmm. You know her sound. You know
most of these top artists, they have a unique sound.
Right, you know her sound.
You know Chris Brown when you hear him. You know Beyonce when you hear her. You know Aaliyah. Like they have like unique sounds.
A unique sound. You know that when you hear them. Mm-hmm. And it's not about having the best because necessarily the best voice is not going to be the person who necessarily like on American Idol. Like, well, they got right with Ruben Studdard. He did have the strongest voice in the competition that year. Mm-hmm. He had the best voice. But on some of the other years, it's like maybe you thought somebody else should have won who had a better voice than the person who won.
Unpopular opinion, Ruben Studdard's music was average at best.
Yeah, it was.
Great voice, average music.
Yeah. He should have just covered Luther Vandross. That's all he should have did. I'm going to cover Luther everywhere.
Cover artist.
He should just cover Luther. That's what I'm keeping it real. Cover Luther. Fact. That's what he should have did.
I found Lanisha's post. That Aaliyah, Timbaland, and Missy changed the music game. Like, that's the gist of what she posted there. And then, like, me, I responded, you know me, I don't let shit go. I was like, what about Genuine? He was part of that movement, but guess why you didn't post him? Because he's still alive. Proving my point. If Genuine had died, people were saying he's the GOAT. The reason why he's still here, you say he's an average singer at best. Nobody mentions Genuine when they said nobody ever. My favorite singer is Genuine. Said nobody ever.
Still the same OG.
Exactly.
100% Genuine. That album was dope.
Yeah, he had good music, but I'm saying like nobody gives a shit about him because he didn't die. That's the point I'm making.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
And he was a better dancer than her. Like he had the whole vibe and shit, just like her. Like Genuine show was way better than her at that Superfest.
And Genuine had the baby hairs too. He had the ill baby hairs.
Genuine popularized baby.
He was a grown man with the baby hairs.
This guy Remy, he says Kobe Bryant was great, but Allen Iverson used to embarrass him on play him every time because he was always better than him. Ooh, hot take there.
That's a hot take, yeah.
Yeah, I was better than Kobe. Hot take. They were part of that same legendary 96 draft. So like
that's a hard one to call.
That's one say like if you were redrafting, who do you take first, Kobe or AI? Like if you were redrafting now, like that's a tough one.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It is. Because for what AI was able to do, being barely 6 feet tall, for him to like have that, to be able to command that type of domination on the court at barely.
And he carried a trash ass team to the finals. Let's keep it real.
And he was barely 6 feet. Yeah. For him to do all that and just be a regular size guy.
That was the year Iverson won the MVP. Like that team really had no business being anywhere near the finals. Iverson carried that fucking team by himself to the NBA finals.
Talk about bum. People always talk about LeBron carried bums like them.
The 01 Sixers was trash.
Them
07 Cavs were trash too. Yeah, that was.
But it's like them 01 Sixers though. People like to try to act like.
And the 2016 Cavs were trash too. The ones with George Hill, like that team.
Yeah, they were trash. Yeah.
So he carried a couple of bum teams. If Tristan is your third best player. Tristan can't be your third best player.
This guy get caught on videos on purpose. Cheating with hoes on video.
Terrence Johnson says Biggie is not the greatest of all time. He's not even top 10. Like, ooh, and I thought I was stepping on toes in my Aaliyah opinion. I said that. Wow. He's like, I might get my ass beat for real, but it's my opinion.
And here's the thing about Biggie where people can support that, where his opinion can be supported by that, because he did have only 2 albums that came out. Yep.
I said 2 albums is all he did. So like
his technically one, because like his Life After Death album came out ironically after he had passed away, technically. But it was already
about in the 3 weeks after, but the album was already complete. And some people had already had it, like some DJs already had advanced copies.
So I mean, so that's a yes or no. So like he had one, if you do count that both albums were out before he passed, he only had 2 albums. So but I mean, Biggie, I think dope storyteller. Like I love like his lyrical flow and like the way he tells stories. Like you can visualize everything that he's saying. Like especially on Warning, you can visually see him.
Warning and and I got a story to tell. Also, I can see him actually robbing the New York Knicks player.
You can see that whole video. I can see it in my head. I can see everything.
Siobhan West posted R. Kelly stole his whole style from Aaron Hall. Drew Hill was a knockoff Jodeci. I agree with both of those.
Cisco.
Cisco's a fake KC. R. Kelly's a fake Aaron Hall. I agree with both of those, man.
Because Cisco, here's the thing. Cisco was just loud. He was just loud. Like, he was just loud. But KC sang with more soul. He was more soulful.
KC could actually sing. Cisco really couldn't sing to me.
Cisco, here it goes. Cisco was Tabasco. KC was the Louisiana hot sauce. That's what it is. Like Tabasco's just hot. Louisiana got some kick. And
Cisco's Tabasco hot.
He's just hot. He was just hot. If I'm gonna make people mad.
And it's funny you mentioned those because like when R. Kelly took his shot at Cisco's album flop, remember that?
Well, I was like, what was the point of that?
Cisco. Like beefs you forgot happened, R. Kelly and Cisco. Yes, Cisco won. Like we in the long run when you think about them. Yes, Cisco won in the end.
I ain't in jail though.
Yeah, I don't mess with no little guys though. The album might have been trash, but I'm still out of here. Is that how Cisco talks? I don't know. That's my impression of Cisco. Made Cisco James Brown and shit for no reason. Yeah, I know that.
Like James Brown meets Mushmouth from
Fat Albert.
That's what you said, like.
LaShonda Matlock says that Michael Jordan is a great player, but a trash human being. Ooh, right in the middle of The Last Dance. Like, these are some good ones, man. You're giving gut punches up in this one. The people are going for theirs, man. Man.
And there's a thing where you say, but people can't separate the two. She said he's a great player. Not that he was a bad basketball player. But as a human being, she said he was trash.
That's her opinion.
But people can't separate the two. Like,
I know I lost some friends because of this. Like, I know I got some unfollows and maybe some blocks and some snooze. I know I lost some friends. These are just opinions, and if we're not allowed to have a difference of opinion, we don't need to be friends anyway.
And this is where I said thing like R. Kelly, unbelievable talent. Like, he could sing, write, produce, all of that, but trash ass fucked up person. Fucked up person. I can't listen to his stuff like that. I can't listen to it and enjoy it. I can't right now. I just can't. I don't know if one day maybe I might want to listen to I Believe I Can Fly in 10 years. Maybe I might, but I can't listen to it now. I can't. I just can't bring myself to listen to it now. And I enjoyed a lot of his stuff then, but I just can't listen to it now.
Sherry-Ann says the spade sucks as a card game. It isn't worth the stress. Sherry-Ann might have lost her black card with that one. Sherry-Ann says spade sucks.
Funniest one that had me rolling. Somebody wrote John Legend is with Obama because he approved gay marriage, so now he married his tranny.
It's like, ooh, another gut punch right there.
And I did the face palm.
Shit on the man's wife. Ooh.
I did the face palm, and then she was like, I was talking about John Legend. So I said, I know you were talking about Chrissy. I said, that's why I face palmed. She called her. I was like, oh my gosh.
Speaking of R. Kelly, shout out Cousin Kirk, says Cosby and R. Kelly are right where they belong. I don't know if that's unpopular. A lot of people agree with that, so I don't know.
Well, in Chicago, you know how people fucks with R. Kelly in Chicago, so. And Hoteps fuck with Bill Cosby, so yeah. It's slightly unpopular. It's slightly.
Marvin Phillips says that, or is it Phil? I don't think it's Phil. I'll pronounce his last name, but Marvin says that Nipsey Hussle is just an average rapper. Ooh. Gut punches, man.
I have to disagree. I say I would disagree.
I fucked with Nips before he died.
Yeah, I say I would disagree. Like, I knew a little bit about his stuff prior to him passing, but then once he passed, then when I started going down the rabbit hole and really discussed, I was like, I'm like, okay. I'm like, this brother was on to something. This brother, it's like, it's a shame that he didn't get to really tell and do his whole story to really get to the point where he could, to ascend to, because that he was going to go higher than what he did. So, I mean, it's just a shame that he wasn't able to be given that opportunity. It's a shame. It is, I have to disagree with that. I do. I disagree with that one.
Anthony Swoop says that I don't think Mitchell Trubisky is a bomb. he gonna lose a lot of fans with that one. He said Trubisky's not a bomb. So there you go.
I'm gonna say it to Marcus. Marcus is gonna tell me to get the hell out of here. Marcus is gonna tell me to get out. I'm gonna see what Marcus says about that. I'm gonna ask Marcus.
Hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
Well, yeah, I got some agreements on my Aaliyah comments. Stella B agrees, Nikki agrees. So I got some agreements.
And that's the thing, like you said, singer, you were just talking about just singing ability, not anything else outside of, because mom always says the thing, because our mom is a singer, and mom always talks about like all the new, like these girls can't sing, like some of like these new singers out. So-and-so can't even sing. She can't sing. She can't sing. She can't. My mom, nobody can sing to our mom.
Mom, everything is about the voice. Yeah.
Yeah.
The package don't matter. Like, long as somebody sound like they grew up singing in church, that's all.
Yeah. You have to have Jennifer Hudson sound basically for my mom to think that you can sing.
If you're not singing, you don't sing as good as Aretha Franklin. You suck to our mom. Aretha fucking Franklin and shit. That's the only one that mom.
That's what she said. She was
like, don't sound like that, then you suck.
I need my ladies to sound like Ree, and then my guys to sound like Luther. I'm like, Mom, you really set the bar way high. Who sounds like Aretha or Luther? Honestly, who does? When you set a bar like that, it's like, come on. It's like saying that if you're not Michael Jordan, you suck as a basketball player. But that's unfair. That's unfair to do that. It is. It's just not.
Corin Frederick says, all things Adele. I kind of agree with that. Adele kind of sucks to me. I used to like her. She kind of sucks to me. The more I listen to her, I'm like, yeah, she kind of sucks.
I like Hello, but
Hello sucked.
But what makes it so bad is that, did you ever hear Joe's cover of Hello?
Nope.
Joe owned it. I was like, Joe's cover was better than the original. Joe owned that shit. Because Joe was on the piano. Joe came in, hello from me. Joe owned that shit when he was singing. I was like, damn.
Fuck that. The only hello I acknowledge is Lionel Richie's. Is it me you're looking for? I can see it in your eyes.
A DJ did a mashup of those two songs. It was hilarious.
But I think I'm ready to wrap this. So you put Monique was never that funny.
Yeah, I put that.
That's not that unpopular.
I don't know if anybody disagrees with me.
Somebody put Cat Williams in mine too. Yeah, it's like somebody said Cat Williams ain't funny. A lot of people put Tiffany Haddish ain't funny.
Well,
so,
yeah.
Like those are not all that unpopular. A lot of people I know hate both of them. So
I say Monique isn't that funny. All she did was just talk about skinny women being evil. Mm-hmm. And all of us are not evil. That's my personal thing. But yeah, like you said, we could wrap this
thing up. Having a little fun on a Sunday, Mother's Day
edition.
Definitely appreciate all the moms once again. Shout out to our mom one more time, and shout out to you, kid.
Thank you.
And you can support the podcast. You could like our Facebook page first of all. Got a whole lot to get through right here. Also, subscribe, share, rate, review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, SoundCloud, iHeart, TLC Talk Radio. What up, Tasha?
Hey, Tasha.
Somebody also said that Bobby Brown was whack and New Edition was overrated. I had to tag Tasha in that one. It's like she came in. I brought Tasha into the post with that one.
I gotta read it now. What Tasha's response is.
I tagged Tasha as soon as I saw that, and then she jumped right in. The world's biggest New Edition fan. Also, what did I say? Follow me at Ozman the Wizard on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Oz Radio on Snapchat and Facebook as well. You can also check out ozradio.net. Got the current hits right there, work in progress. ozradio.net for the 90s and 2K classics. I got the bomb link for you on that. Also, you can check out the podcast on YouTube. I forgot to mention that. Audio only, video coming soon, meaning eventually. We're all over the place, but go ahead, kid.
And you can check me out, MSIMA8626 on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Also, STR8GULLEY1 on Twitter, STR8GULLEY7 on Instagram. Also, please like the Straight Gully Facebook fan page. Check out straightgully.com for your blogs and your vlogs. And for your video production needs, check out straightgullyproductions.com.
Beyonce posts are still coming in on this one. Like I said, low-hanging fruit. That's not all that on the podcast. A lot of people don't like her, but I'm Ozman the Wizard.
And Naima.
And we will talk to you later.
Bye.
I'm gone.